Hey, I'm Mac Moore, CEO of Conductor Technologies, and we're here with AWS at SIGGRAPH 2022 talking to you a little bit about Conductor and cloud rendering. So cloud rendering for Conductor is really all about the easy button into cloud, abstracting that complexity of file architecture, storage architecture, virtual machines, availability zones, and really keeping it artist-centric. So what I'm doing this week at SIGGRAPH is we are talking through the workflow of Cinema 4D. And so what I've opened up today for you is the kitchen USD scene, showing a little bit about USD support. And when you create a Conductor account, you will get a companion application, and that companion application allows you to incrementally install plugins. In this case, I've installed the Cinema 4D plugin, which creates this Conductor render menu. Now, what we do here is we automatically detect the version of software. We automatically give you the capability to default to the low-cost spot resources on AWS. And what is going to happen when I hit this submit button is we are going to automatically go through and detect all of the USD assets in this scene. We are going to upload them to an S3 bucket in AWS, and then we're going to spin up all the file architecture, storage architecture, serving architecture in the availability zone that we choose so that this render can run as quickly as possible. So we default to one virtual machine per frame, so we go highly parallel so that you can get the render done as quickly as possible. Interesting thing about running all of those in parallel is the volume of work really doesn't change. So there is no cost advantage to running less machines for longer. So we really look to drive things as massively parallel as possible. Okay, so now that I've submitted some scenes, that opens up this dashboard. And the dashboard is really like your on-prem render queue management service, but it's all orchestrated in the cloud. So what we're doing here, in this case, I've already architected everything necessary for the render. So it's now looking in that availability zone for those available resources. And again, we've selected that availability zone from the machine type that I selected, in this case, 4-core, 16 gig. We're really focused on cost at Conductor. So not only do we disposition the cost, so in this case you see that I've run this previous scene, and I know that each of my 3 scout frames have run, and each cost me a penny. We want you to be able to take action on those costs. So we've built cost limits around the product as well, and the cost limits allow you to, on a scene-by-scene basis, and an account level, on a project-by-project basis, create these limits. And those limits can be static, they can be recurring. So in this case, let's create a project limit. Let's say, hey, for SIGGRAPH, I don't want you to blow more than $10. So we set a limit. We say, hey, send me an email if I eclipse that limit. And so in this case, I'm going to change that limit to $10, and I'm going to say create. And so now that limit is constantly looking at every frame that completes as we walk through the SIGGRAPH demos this week. And if I ever start to approach that $10 limit, I will get an email telling me so. And that's a little bit about Conductor. I appreciate your time.